Hello, my name is Burak. I will talk about social media automation on Azure Logic Apps. I am Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador and I am also software engineer. What is Azure Logic Apps? Azure Logic App is cloud-based automation service. It is designed first, so you don't need to know coding knowledge. But it is good to have such a skill because it also helps. It is an integration tool to integrate the many platforms and the services and connect them together. It is workflow based, so you say, for example, when something happens, do this thing and optionally do another thing, and depending on the results, do something completely different. So what this serverless means? So the platform and the runtime is completely abstracted, so you don't need to worry about them. They are they they are managed by Azure team. It scales very good because it is event driven. It doesn't depend on a single machine. It can run on many machines, and you only pay for what you use. So Azure Logic Apps consist of actions, triggers, and these actions and triggers related to these connectors. So let's check what we can do about the connectors. For example, you can put text analysis, you can automate your messages and SMS using Twilio API. You can connect your software with Vimeo, I mean automation. You can connect this thing with VirusTotal to scan the files. You can also integrate your workflow with WordPress. You can integrate it with Twitter. You can integrate it with Outlook. You, you can use some feeds, RSS feeds. Also, you can integrate with OneDrive, Amazon S3, and Azure Blob Storage. Triggers. So, all of the connectors con doesn't contain a trigger, but uh, you can use some triggers that were provided you via connectors. For example, when when a new tweet is posted, you can run your workflow. At a specific time period, you can run your workflow. Or for example, when you get an email on your Outlook.com account, you can run your workflow. Or when a new file is created on OneDrive, you can run your workflow. Or you can watch for changes on FTP server, for example. And you are not limited to only this. You can also create a custom triggers using the tools. For example, like when an HTTP request is received, you can automate it customly. For example, you can watch for videos on YouTube and then post it to your Twitter account when you upload a video or when somebody else uploads a video. Or, for example, you can also do the same thing when a blog post is created on Blogger platform, or for example, when a GitHub issue is opened on your GitHub repository, or when you receive an email on Gmail using Gmail connector. And these are the actions. For example, the Twilio has an action to send a text message, the SMS, and Twitter provides some actions, for example, to post a tweet or retweet an existing tweet. You can post a message on Microsoft Teams, or you can do text analysis using this text analysis connector that works with Microsoft Cognitive services. Or for example, using Slack connector, you can post a message. These are the actions that you can take on your Logic App. So these are some templates from Azure team that it is pre-made. For example, maybe you want to automate deleting the old files on your Azure blob. Or maybe when a new file is created on Dropbox, you can copy it to the OneDrive. You can watch for tweets and send them to your email. Or you can watch for the specific tweets but post them on the Slack. You can share your tweets to the Facebook. You can share your Instagram photos automatically to the Twitter when you post it. Or you can create to-do items based on tweets or for imported emails that you receive from Outlook. And you can do many things. So let's make a demo Azure Logic Apps in action. So what we want to do in our demo? We want to search for tweets containing IT ProDev Greece test hashtag. We will determine if the tweet content is positive or negative. Depending on it, we want to retweet it, or we want to send email to the event administrator and post a tweet about the results. What we will use on our Logic App? Twitter connector. So we need a trigger from Twitter connector. When a new tweet is posted, that it will run our Logic App. So here is the actions that we can use from the Twitter connector. For example, we want to post a tweet, but we are not limited to just post a tweet. We can do many actions. So the text analysis connector. The text analysis connector uses the Microsoft Cognitive Services to do the following actions. For example, we can detect the language of the tweet. We can detect the sentiment of the tweet. And many more stuff. Or for example, like we can detect the entities inside of this tweet. So there is Office 365 connector, because we wanted to send a tweet to the event administrator about the text analysis result, based on text analysis result. And here is the actions that we can use from Office 365 connector. For example, we can send an email using this action. So let's create our first Logic App. So we just create a Logic App and we go to the Logic App Designer. This is a web interface to make and manage the Logic Apps, but you are not restricted to use this designer. For example, if you use Visual Studio, you can also design it from there, because there is a designer built into the Visual Studio. And you can source control it if you do it from there. For example, you can publish your workflow on Git too. So we just create the trigger, because every Logic App starts with a trigger. So we say when a new tweet is posted containing this IT ProDev Greece test hashtag, now we will put some Logic App. Maybe there is happy little machine learning leaves somewhere. So after we put our trigger, we will add text analysis. So we choose another action called text analysis detect sentiment. So here it asks the options for the connector. Because this connector uses Microsoft Cognitive Services, we need to set up Microsoft Cognitive Service first. And Here we create a cognitive services on Azure portal, and we copy the API keys because the connector asks so. And we just put the text analysis, the we just set up the text analysis connector, and we want to read the tweet text and send it to the detect sentiment action from text sentiment analysis. And we need a condition because depending on the results, we will retweet or do some other action such as sending a tweet as a reply and warning the event administrator. Since we put the condition on bottom of this text analysis, we can use the data that we got from text analysis. So here we choose the score. It says also that the score will be a decimal number between 0 and 1. So, okay. And we say if the score is higher than or equal to 0.5, like if it is 50% good, we will do some other action. So we say if it is true, we retweet the original tweet that made us logic up to run. If the condition doesn't met, we will reply to the user. We will say sentiment condition failed with score, and we will put the score on the tweet. And we will send an email to my personal Gmail address. And now we can try our logic up. We just press the run command on the top, and it says to see it work now, create a new tweet, and which we will do on the next step. And and here we post a tweet, and it run, and action, our action says the sentiment was like 0.9, and our trigger were able to get the text of the tweet, and also we have some more information like when this tweet is made. And here we can see that it retweeted our tweet, and it get one input, the original tweet ID, and it returned a new tweet ID which consists of our retweet. And here we can debug it actually, because when we run it, it recorded what it did, and we just see that our condition met true, and it retweeted the tweet only. And on the false condition, the condition is failed, so it didn't run the actions behind them. So let's try a negative case, and we will post another tweet which will say bad things about the event. Here we say, for example, we were unable to watch the videos and unable to sign in. So the tweet is there, and the workflow is run, but this time it went to the false, and it posted a tweet. And when it posted a tweet, because it used Microsoft Azure Logic Apps to send this tweet, it is also mentioned inside of the tweet, because Twitter shows which application was used to send the tweet. For example, on Apple, it says it was tweeted by an iOS. So, and our second condition was, our second action was to send an email and to notify here is somebody talking bad about you, and here we see that it get the correct input. And this is the email that we just received from LogicUp. It says sentiments code, the text, the name, the username. But we could do more on our demo. For example, this Office 365 has another action called send approval email. For example, if the tweet content was bad, we could send an approval email to take the following action. For example, to the marketing team or some content review team could accept it or reject it, and depending on it, that would take another path. This is a very good action actually, because for example you can take a form submission, and then this form submission is checked by another person, and depending on it, it would take another path. So there are many alternate use cases. For example, this is Hacker News, a website, and that they have a Twitter account that they fetch data from the Hacker News. So you could use LogicUp when a feed item is published on a website. You can automatically post it to the Twitter. You can also connect YouTube to the Twitter when a video matches a search, or when a video is uploaded by a channel, or when you upload a video, you can immediately post it to the Twitter. There are alternate use cases. For example, you can monitor the success of your product. Let's assume that you just launch a new service and you want to monitor what people say about it. So you make a LogicUp and make a trigger to listen the tweets. On a positive tweet, you just forward the message to the Microsoft Teams marketing channel, so that they can use this text to promote the product. But on a negative tweet, you can post the message on the development channel, so they can bother about it. Or, for example, if it happens too much, you can use LinkedIn connector to post a new job opportunities to replace your development department. This is a joke, of course. So you can also make giveaways. For example, you want to make people hear your product, and you just make a giveaway. So you say, retweet this thing and tag one of your friends, and you listen for the tweets, and by using an action, you save the name and username of the tweeters using the database connectors, and you can make another LogicUp that will fire when the giveaway ends, which will execute a query to choose the 3 winners, and you can post the winners on any platform of your choice automatically from the LogicUp. So this is the pricing of the LogicUps. You don't pay for when you keep it enabled. You just pay for the actions and the connectors that you use, and it is for every run you pay this price, but you don't need to keep anything open, or you don't need to pay standard fees, and you will only pay when it runs. So you pay only for what you use, and all connectors are equal, but some connectors are more equal than others. So the enterprise connector is more expensive than the standard connector, because they are often more complicated, or the API provider takes pricing on API calls, or for example the IBM terminals. There is a there's a connector to automate the IBM terminals, which will automate your workflow on the legacy machines. They are priced differently because they often require more job. And you don't pay for the time that your logic app run, actually. You just pay when it do actions. So, before ending my slide, I would like to talk about the setup on the Azure side. Yes, so this is our logic app, and we will go to the logic app designer. So I will show it more in a more nice way. Here it is loading. So we just first put the trigger there, and we said our hashtag is this, and we use the text sentiment action to check the text inside of the tweet, and here we put a condition. If the text is good, that would retweet the tweet only, fall on this branch. And if the text inside of the tweet was bad, that would post the tweet and put the score also there. And send an email using Outlook connector, Office 365 connector, with this body, email body. Inside of this email body, we can completely customize it. We can put the inputs that we get from other actions, and we can change the subject, we can change the sender, and we can also make the sender dynamic. For example, maybe you want to label the email to the sender by tweeted by, so you can put this dynamic input to here. But there is also one more cool thing to show, actually, because you just put it and save and run this thing, but you want to know how it acted. I mean, you want to debug it because you are not sure which path it took or which path it didn't took. So here we can go to the overview page and follow the runs history, and we will check the latest one. So here the designer is open, but this time the designer is not to design the logic app, but it shows which path it took. So we say when a new tweet is posted, it outputted this information, so we can use this information on the following actions. But here we know exactly why this logic app ran and with what data it ran. So we go to the detect sentiment action, and we see that it got this text to detect sentiment, and here we have this output 0.0001, which means like this is a negative tweet. So here our condition says false. Actually, this connector is saying that it is a bug because we put the threshold to this condition. Because it fall to false, this retweet action on the true branch didn't run. So we will go to the false. So here we see that it posted a tweet using this text, and it just returned the ID of the tweet that it just posted. And let's go to the send an email action. Yes, and it got these inputs. The body has the score that it got from another action, and the text that it got from the trigger, the name of the account that posted the tweet, and this is the username. And here we see that it is it's successful run, so it didn't return an error while sending an email. So this was for the false case. Let's go to the another case, a good one. So a, this time a positive tweet is sent. It says thanks for the amazing event, and the detect sentiment got this input again, and this time it returned a good score, like which means like this tweet probably a positive one. So because this tweet was positive, it fall on the true, it fall on the first branch. We just retweeted the tweet, and if we check the false one, we can clearly see that these actions didn't run because of it didn't meet the condition. We can also think the logic apps in a fundraising event. For example, let's assume the banks know their customer username on on Twitter, and the various people send some tweets using some hashtag, for example, the donation, plus the NGO that they want to donate, plus the amount of the money that they want to donate. And since banks know their username, that they execute the money transfer from their account, and that they confirm it by replying to their tweet from their official Twitter account. And this would make public to pressure the various people by tweeting about other various people, like like some attractive fundraising event, uh, which could which could logic apps can help on in terms of social media. But of course, the logic apps are not restricted to use on social media context. But I wanted to focus more on this social media thing because this is one of the most interesting use cases, and in this context you don't need to have any developer skills. I mean, because you go to the designer and you say when a tweet is received, do this thing and this thing. In the meanwhile, for the business use cases, things can change because maybe you will integrate your own code. Maybe you want to integrate your own action, or maybe you want to give um, connector to the public to connect it with your system, which would require coding skills. So thanks for everybody who listened my presentation. Have a very nice day.